wow, if that ain't enough to just get your blood a-boiling or moving or something, or I was jamming in my chair, except for my kitty cat was sitting on my lap, and she was like, what the hell you doing, Mom? Guess what, everybody? This is Grammy, and you're listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair here on World Truth Radio and RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 9. Or, excuse me, Channel 3. That's right, Grammy changed the channel selector, and I have to remember that. I'm such a spaz. I'm also on the WorldTruth.org Spreaker channel, and yeah, it is a Whack-a-Doodle Wednesday. And yeah, Kate, you know what? I just saw Santilli had a whole bunch of tweets over there on Twitter. So I checked my Twitter. I actually have my Twitter open. I am so proud of me. I don't do that very often. Oh, well. Let me see who is over here on World Truth real quick. We've been having a few issues with World Truth, but we'll get through that because we're going to be doing some moving and shaking, I'm thinking. Okay, over here on World Truth, I see the lovely Mary B. from Down Under. Hey there, hi there, ho there, young lady. How's things doing in your world? I also see Redrick and Rusty Mopar, as well as T.D. Sanders, and Vince Easley is over here. And I think he's also over in the RLM, but I'm not positive. I'll have to go check that out. Over on Facebook, let me see. I know I saw my brother Elm Fudd log into the RLM, but let me see here if I got anyone. Nope. No one on Facebook. That's okay. I also see Marcos is over here on World Truth. Hi there, Marcos. How you doing? Thank you, Grimner. Bo Diddy is also over here on World Truth as well. Hey there, Bo. And look, Jiva34, is that how you say that, sweetheart? And David is here, and oh my goodness, David, you just keep after those darn creationists, and I am a pastafarian, and I will wear my colander whenever I damn well please, because, well, you know, usually I do that when I'm cleaning, and I have Ride of the Valkyrie going, so it's, you know, my children have been traumatized for life by growing up with that, so hey. It's all good. And thank you, Barman Darlin, for tweeting me over there on Twitter. I truly do appreciate it. You're such a love. You know, if I could give you a cybernetic hug, I would. But you're going to get thanks, and that's about it. Okay. Whoa. Stud of fingers are intact as usual. Send David some chemtrails for you? Well, I can sure do that, sweetheart, because David doesn't believe in them. He does not think that chemtrails are real. He thinks that we're all just crazy, batshit crazy. And you know what? I enjoy being batshit crazy, because then when I'm smiling, people look at me and they go, what the hell is she up to now? Yeah, that's right. You should be afraid. Be very afraid. Okay, over here in the RLM. Wow, there is a crowd over here today. Awesome. And looky, everybody's listening to FBI press conference. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. I haven't really listened to any of the press conferences. I listened to a few things and made my eyes leak, but I'll get to that. Right there at the top, I see Asmo. Asmo, you're always at top. What the hell? You got top billing for some, and don't tell me it's an alphabetical reason, okay? Because alias is farther down the list, and L comes before S. In any case, I also see Barman is here. Sweetheart, thank you very much. Truly love all the posting that you do, even though you are cybernetic and Grimner is your creator. I know, but I think Hobbs is real too, because, well, Hobbs is. I also see the lovely Bess Z is here. Hey there, lady, as well as Cowboy Tech. Hey, sweetie, are you hearing pleasant voices this evening? I hope you are, as opposed to what's been going on around here. I also see the mighty Grimner and the lovely Moose Girl, as well as the lovely Kate. Wee-haw! And then Rome's, who will not let me breathe heavy, although I think I do that anyway, just because. And looky there, there's Free Enslaved. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? As well as yours truly, Grammy 2. Reason I'm Grammy 2 is because my evil twin has come to rear her ugly head. Or whatever. I also see IB Don C is here, as well as Java Doctor 2, the new and improved. No, he is not decaffeinated. And looky there, Juana Taco. You know what, sweetheart? That does sound very good. But I had some zesty chicken and noodles, and I used ramen noodles for it, just because I kind of like my ramen noodles. But and I put some of my lovely salsa in there, so yeah, it had some zippity in its doodah. So I kind of sort of had chicken noodle taco bake stuff. I experiment. What the hell? I also see Alias is here, as well as Chalcedony, is that how you say that, sweetie? Hope I didn't butcher that too bad. And El Chi is here. El Chi. Ah. As well as, and Civ Fudd, who is my biggest buada. Gary L is here. Jess Other, or is that Jessie Other? Because I know people that pronounce it both ways. Don't want to bugger it up. Looky there, Meisterbrow Party! How you doing, darling? I heard you on the radio the other day. Awesome. Awesome possum. And to round out the crew, it looks like Oslo is here, as well as RLM 6139. Let's see, 6139. RLM 19. How about I just drop you down to that? IB Don C is now known as IB Don C. Alrighty, IB Don C. Sounds like a hell of a plan. Okay, everybody's been talking. Everybody's been talking, and it's very, very sad. From all accounts that I have heard and read so far, a very wonderful man was removed from this earthly plane yesterday by force. And, you know, that happens everywhere, all around the world, every single day. Someone gets removed from this earthly plane by force. And it wasn't just by force, it was by force exuded by the gooberment, which the gooberment does exude force, because that's the only way the gooberment can do. El Cha Vincente. Ah, that's who that is. All righty then. Sorry, darling. I will run you later. I do not wish to scan my hardware right now. I'm on the radio, Chiso Peak computer, don't you know? Where was I at? Oh, yeah. You know, every day somebody loses their life to force. Someone forces them to leave this earthly plane. I'm not going to say they really lose their life because, well, they still got it. It's just not on the earthly plane. My thoughts. And every day that happens to someone through the actions of a government. Every day around the world. So does that make what happened yesterday any less important, any less valid? No, I don't think so. I think it's just as valid, just as important, every single one of them. Every single individual that gets taken out by force, especially by a government, which is a totally non-existent, fictitious entity. Every single one of them. Governments are not real, people. The only reality governments have is the reality that we give them, and yet we give them. Hola, darling. And yet, you know, what is it that people are worrying about? You know, we've got this government run amok, which is basically everywhere. I think it's their dying gasps. I think they know that it's coming down to the wire, that they're going to be losing out. You know, people are tired of the nonsense. Not all of the people, but a good share of the people are tired of the nonsense. You know, they're tired of the BS that government is doing to us. It is legal for government, a fictitious entity, to do things to us that we cannot do to each other. What the hell is wrong with that picture? An awful lot in my books. An awful lot. But, what is this? Oh, you're practicing your Espanol. Oh, are you going to move to Mexico anytime soon there, darling? Is that the plan? Just curious. Puppy alert. Okay, I got to see the puppy alert. Just a second. I know I'm easily distracted. Squirrel! Oh, fuck me running. Yes, I said that. Hell with it. Sorry. Oh, well. And that was the actual first F-bomb that I whispered of the evening. So, yeah, there's probably going to be a few more. But, you know, I'm looking at all this stuff that's been in the feed. I'm on a Mexican radio. Do, 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 do. I'm on a Mexican. Whoa. Okay, don't do that. You scare people away when you do that, Grammy. I got a message. Is that Lino? It's Lino. Hi, Lino, over there on World Truth. I'm doing wonderful, Lino. How are you doing, sweetheart? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Back to what the hell was I talking about? Oh, and Coyote Patrol. Hey, there you go. I can speak Spanglish. I spick it very piss poorly. But that's okay, because all the Hispanics around here, they just laugh at me. They just nod and smile and walk away as if to say, she plum loco. Yes, I am. Plummy. Actually, I'm peachy, but, you know, that's okay. Oh, bug out plan includes spray on tan. You know what, sweetheart? I can go out in the yard when the weather starts getting nicer, because right now I don't go out with skin showing except for the facial area. It's chilly. But when it's warmer, I go out there and I actually get to where I'm like Neapolitan ice cream. So there you go. It's not necessarily a tan. There are some tan spots, and then there's some pink spots, and then yes, there is a lot of white too. But what the hell? Okay, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, okay. All of the stuff that's going on up in Oregon, it's going on everywhere, actually. And that's the thing. This is the one this is where they're having a real good time, you know, flexing muscles, all that fun shit. And I really feel bad for the people that are up there. And yet I think, what the hell? What the hell? Because there's going to be someone that's going to do something stupid. And I really, honestly and truly, in my heart, feel as though some of this is because some moron, whether it's true or not, I know it was on the internet, so it must be true. But some moron apparently said that if I see cops try to pull me over, I'm going to take them all out. You know, whatever. Some kind of nonsense like that. If you're going to say shit like that, seriously, dude, because we already have a very touchy situation, and they are just faunching at the bit to jump the gun. And trust me, if you get into a pissing contest with the government where it comes to you whipping out your big guns and them whipping out theirs, well, let me just put it to you this way. They are going to piss all over you and tell you it's raining. And yeah, it's going to be raining. It's going to be raining all kinds of things that are really, really solid on your ass. So do not get into that kind of a pissing contest with them. Because that's what they want, number one. They want you to be dumb. They want you to step up and do something really, really stupid so that they can come in and be justified in their mindset to take y'all out. And there's just enough people that do not investigate for themselves. There's just enough people out there that swallow the defecation that fills that propaganda trough. Just enough of them. That's what they live on. And they drink Kool-Aid every frickin' day. In other words, they get all of their mental sustenance from the clap. The corporate lame-ass propaganda system. Or MSN, however you wish to put it. But please, people, don't step up and be stupid here. I mean, there's already enough stupid out there. We don't need to add to it. So think. You cannot win this war by playing by their rules. You cannot do that. You have to step up and use your brain. That's all there is to it. So don't fall for their bullshit. Don't fall for their tactics of taunting you into doing something dumb. That's all I got to say. I mean, I know there's good people up there, and there was a good man that got taken out yesterday. But good people get taken out every single day. It's not just us. It's not just here in the U.S. Yeah, we feel it here because it directly affects us. But you know what? When you stop and think about it, in the grand scheme of things, every single person that gets taken out by this bullshit directly affects each and every one of us. Because according to quantum physicists, on a quantum level, we are all connected. If you wish to look at it in a scientific manner, we are all connected. So every time harm is brought to one of us, it's brought to all of us. And on a spiritual level, every time harm is brought to one of us, it's brought to all of us. We all need to step up, every one of us, and protect each other. And that starts with being respectful for each other and of each other. And this gentleman that was taken out yesterday, I saw this article over on Twitter and I just had to go to it. It was from, Drudge Report had posted it. It's from the LATimes.com, where some activists at the occupied federal wildlife refuge preached rowdyism and brimstone. Robert Lavoy Finicum, is that how you say that? Was wistful, almost sad. Bedecked in his trademark earmuffs and cowboy hat, the Arizona rancher would wonder aloud with a shake of his head why reporters couldn't simply see the righteousness of his position, that the federal government was illegally possessing land it had no right to take. And see, there's the rub. There's the rub. Because if you read this full article, it goes on to say that he insisted that he and the other occupiers were helping the people of Harney County, Oregon. He often carried a handgun at his side, which is his constitutional right, and he set up watch with long guns across his lap. He was not attacking anyone. He was just sitting there defending his own. And he was doing it in a peaceable manner. And yet he got taken out. And the way it reads, when you read this, they took over federal land. Federal land, really? Is there such a thing as federal land? Is there really? Or is it public property? Is it property that the government is supposed to maintain, and yet they do not? And then they pull stunts like what they did up in Oregon and send people to jail for trying to do what the government wasn't doing, maintaining and taking care of the land. This is a battle of words here, people, more than a battle of guns and bullets and swords or whatever. The pen is mightier than the sword. It really is. And this is how we are losing this war. Yes, Grammy, federally confiscated land. Although, yeah. And they do that here as well. They do it out here in Booneyville. And people don't realize that they're signing over their property every time they put it into CRP. Every time. Because there's a lovely little clause in there that any time during that time frame that it's under CRP, where they get that lovely little check in their mailbox every year, every time they sign that piece of paper, it says in the fine print that if the government should deem it necessary to take over that land, to confiscate it from you, they can, and you have already been compensated for it by the checks you got in the mail. Now, I woke a few farmers up to that when I worked at the grain elevator, and I first ran across the lovely site Taking Liberty, which explains how this has been going on for years and years. And it's not going to get any better until the whole system comes crashing down. It's just not. And the people I really feel bad for are the ones that live in the cities. Because those of us out here in Booneyville, yeah, we'll be affected. You know, we won't be able to get as many things shipped into us because, yeah. But seriously, they don't have the infrastructure to police everything. And the Fed is going to be so busy trying to keep the craziness that's going to go on in the metropolitan areas down to a volcanic eruption, because I really think that's what it's going to come to. I think any major metropolitan area is going to be like Mount Vesuvius going off. When the shit finally hits the fan, that's what it's going to be. And a lot of it is because people don't know where their food comes from. People don't know how to create their own food by growing a garden. You know, even if you don't have access to meat or anything like that, there's things you can grow that will sustain you. But people don't know how to do that. People panic. People become scared, stupid animals, and they panic and they start taking each other out. And you know, that was one of those things that I kind of thought about the other day, just kind of clicked with me with the Georgia Guidestones when they said that a certain percentage of the population would be taken out by such and such time or whatever. I can see that happening, because if you actually look at a population map of the world and you stop and you think, yeah, Gary, it magically appears at the grocery store. And why do people have to kill cows and kill chickens when all they have to do is just go to the meat case at the grocery store? Why do you have to milk cows and steal those eggs from those chickens when you can just go to the dairy case in the grocery store? Yeah, there's a lot of morons out there. But sadly, and this was something that was set up years and years ago, that once you have just enough dominoes in the economic game to fall, it will take them all down. That was set up years ago. And once that starts going, all the major metropolitan areas will pretty much become ghost towns. I mean, yeah, you'll have roaming herds, is what I prefer to look at them like, because that's what they'll be. They'll roaming herds of crazy people trying to find anything to eat. And some of them probably eating each other. God only knows. I mean, I hope to God it doesn't get that ugly, but I can see it happening. Just because. But you know, the tards that be, those lovely leeches in charge that are large and in charge, or at least pulling the strings on all of those people that seem to think that I'm with the government. You can't touch me. Yeah, all the ones pulling those strings. Yeah, zombie hordes works just as well, Grammy, but I think herd works. Yeah. Meh. Or moo. Actually, no, I didn't, sweetheart. I didn't look at that chart. But I'm thinking as soon as the shit hits the fan, it's going to get real ugly. And it's going to be the people, you know, those people that they call savages, those ones that live out in the boonies, the ones that live off the land. Yeah, those are going to be the ones that survive this mess. Pretty much not unscathed, but not hurt near as bad. Yeah, FUD, gangs is another way of putting it. Although gangs, you know, I don't think the gangs will survive. Not the gangs that we have right now. Because I think once you get enough pissed and hungry and scared people, I don't think the gangs will survive. I really don't. Because a lot of them are just little tyrants with a small penis. Whether that's physically or metaphorically. Every damn one, I think every gang member is basically just a small tyrant with a small penis. And that's probably a rather blunt way of putting it, but hey, that's kind of the way I look at them. Yes, Lino? You're going out to Mickey D's? Don't go to Mickey D's. Don't go to Mickey D's. That's bad juju. That is poison, sweetheart. Don't eat at Mickey D's. That's how Ronald McDonald got to looking the way he does, darling. Do you really want to wind up with white face and that funky-ass orange hairdo? I don't think so. And do you see what it did to his feet? No, don't eat at Mickey D's. Don't go there. Don't go there, Lino. Yeah, El Savage. There you go. But he is funded and armed. Who is he, my dear? Did I miss out on that? There's an awful lot of people. You get a scared populace. And yeah. Thank you, Gary L. El Savage, learn English or go home. I have always wanted to say that, And oh God, when I worked at the grain elevator, most of the truck drivers that were hauling grain spoke Espanol as their first language. And yeah, they used to tease me all the time because I didn't understand. Okay, I understood a few of the curse words, but they really didn't use those around me because I would just look at them and say, whatever you say, I'm going to remember it and I'm going to repeat it to my daughter because my daughter knows Spanish. She learned it from someone in El Salvador, which my eldest daughter did in college. She took 2 years of Spanish from a professor who was originally from El Salvador, and she shocked some of the workers that she worked with at the Cargill facility up in Milwaukee when she was up there. She was walking the floor, and they had made some not necessarily derogatory remarks, but okay, my daughter is quite lovely. And she has beautiful red hair, absolutely beautiful red hair. And so they were commenting on her figure and her hair. And she let them go on for a while, and then she turned around and responded to them in Spanish as well. And they all just kind of stopped and went, oh, oopsie, she knows what we're saying. They didn't do that shit anymore when she was on the floor. Just saying. Which that's how you get them. Dang, Gary L. That's not looking pretty for the home team, is it, hun? Nope, it's not. Thanks, sweetie, for sharing that. Wow. Demon Atrax? Well. Now, see, Fudge, you could be a gang leader because you are the eldest in our clan. And, I don't think there's anyone in our family that doesn't have a weapon of one kind or another. Just saying. We could be our own little gang, although we're not a little gang. And quite frankly, I'm one of the smallest ones in the family. But, oh well, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah. We just we as humanity need to outgrow this silly little mindset that we have to have someone telling us how to live, and we have to have someone telling us what's best for us. And that's why I keep occasionally sharing that meme that Circles made for me that is like a pie chart, and it's got 1/3 of the pie is Republicans and 1/3 of the pie is Democrats and 1/3 of the pie is me, M-E. And we need to make that 1/3 that's ME, that needs to go to at least half. At least half. Demon Atrax left Vince. El Savage. Ammon Bundy just sent unexpected order to remaining occupiers. Ah. Okay. I'll check that. Oh, and Demon Atrax is back. So, my dear, are you demonic or are you a democrat? Please don't tell me you're a democrat. Incarcerated leader, armed occupied fighter, wildlife refuge. Okay, how about instead of I skim? Oh my goodness. Chalcedony shared this. It's from the Western Journalism. Breaking, Ammon Bundy just sent unexpected order to all remaining occupiers. Whether or not they listen, I don't know. But less than a day after one protester was fatally shot and several others were arrested during an interaction. Now, see, I like that a whole lot better than shootout, which is what the clap is putting out there. Really? A shootout? Oh, it's called a shootout when all of the... Okay, you surrounded the vehicle, and so the bullets were flying from all directions. Unfortunately, they were all your bullets, you dumbasses. Yeah. Oh, wait. Collateral damage. Yeah. Well, an interaction with law enforcement officers, the currently incarcerated leader of the armed occupation of the federally operated... Thank you. I really prefer this terminology to a lot of the shit that's going on. Federally operated Oregon Wildlife Refuge is urging those left behind to leave the premises and return home. I really don't have an argument with that. That's according to several reports. Ammon Bundy spoke to the occupiers through his attorney on Wednesday. Now, he spoke to the occupiers through his attorney today, and yet I saw Santilli had multiple tweets on Twitter. What's the deal here? Oh, wait, that's right. Santilli has connections. Santilli is a useful tool. Ammon Bundy, on the other hand, is going to be a sacrificial lamb. Kind of like the making a murder. Yeah. There's a lot of, wow, I've been seeing an awful lot more, and I don't know if it's just because I watched that miniseries and just kind of by the end of it went, wow, that's just totally messed. Although, I hate to say this, but he's never going to get out of jail. I did see something today about there was new evidence and possibly a new trial. No, he's never going to get out of jail. And do you know why? Because he had balls enough to sue them the first time. And even though he settled just so he could pay for his legal team, he had balls enough to sue them the first time. And even though people that worked for the government said, this is a bullshit thing that's happening here, this is wrong, he should be out, no matter what they said, the government, the entity, because it does not care what kind of input it receives, it has its mind made up in advance. It didn't care what its little tendrils told it, the information that came in on its little spider web. It didn't care what that information was, because that great big spider, that black widow spider that is the government, that was up there spinning its web and going, fuck you. No, you're going to stay as an abject lesson to all others who wish to try. That's what they're doing. That's why they did that. Didn't make a shitting bit of difference if they had a dirty district attorney or any of that other fun stuff. He's going to die in prison. I hate to say that, but that's what I see. Unless this system gets a serious jolt to it. Which, speaking of serious jolts, I may as well let y'all know. I was approached the other evening at bowling, which is a weird place to be approached about something like this, but I was asked to run for county commissioner out here in Booneyville. So, this crazy old batshit lady is going to run for county commissioner because I firmly believe that if you wish to change things, you have to be the change. And so the only way that I can see trying to correct the system on a small scale is by getting into the system on a small scale and working from there, because everybody's got to start local. You're not going to affect the Fed because the Fed doesn't give two spits less about anything. The Fed doesn't care about other countries, let alone where we're at. The only thing the Fed cares about is the Fed and feeding itself. So, Ohio, yep. Most of you guys are nuts. That's all there is to it. But I love you anyway, because, well, I love nutty people. Oh, Atrax, I don't know that you really want to go there, sweetheart. But yeah, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring in the and no, I'm not a politician. I'm just a crazy Grammy lady that lives out in the middle of Booneyville, and I'm going to try and make my little part of Booneyville a better place. Thank you, Moosey. So let me get back to, because I keep getting distracted. I know that shocks you guys. I know it does. So when you scream at the public, they get scared. Is that the way that works, Lino? Well, I don't have to scream at the public. I just have to smile and kind of look at them kind of sideways. And, well, I know my coworkers run. Hi, Bubs. How are you doing, sweetie? Bubs is my furry friend over here on World Truth, which if you are not a member of World Truth, get your butt over there. Dang it. Because we need input. I'm like number 5. I need input. Oh, and I know the other thing I was leading to, which, yeah, squirrel. They say that one bad apple will spoil the whole bunch. Did you know that scientists, quantum physicists, mind you, have been studying the effects of a mass of people meditating at the same time? And they do have mass meditations occasionally. I've actually participated in a couple of them, and they really are pretty darn cool. If you're open to the experience, and it's not like you have to actually go somewhere. It's just that there is a time set aside, and you just, in that time frame, you just sit down, you just try and clear your mind, which with me is really hard to do because I got a shitload of cobwebs up there that keep touching each other because the breeze blows through. But you sit there and you calm your mind and you focus on whatever the group meditation is supposed to be focusing on, and you focus on it, and you really can get a vibe, or at least I do. And I've spoken with a few others that have also participated, and they feel it as well. So, it's okay. Maybe it's just, our minds talking ourselves into it. I don't know, but I feel better afterwards. But the really way cool thing is that they can detect that scientifically, down to the time frame when the meditation is going on. They can detect a drop in violence globally. It does affect the system. We are all connected. And if we want to sit here and focus all the time on all of the bad juju that's out there, because seriously, that's what the tards that be want us to focus on. They want us to be flustered. They want us to be distracted. They want us to be running in 50 different directions. They want us to be distrustful of each other. They want us to be fearful. So instead of going into that mindset, that vibrational frequency, however you wish to put it, instead of going there, go to a one of respect. You don't have to like someone to respect them. I know an awful lot of people that I respect their ability. I don't necessarily like them as a human being, but I sure as hell respect what they do. Or at least the way they get things done. So if you just go into the mindset, the framework of respecting, sending out that I respect you, sending that energy out there, you can make a difference. You really can. And if enough people start doing that, you can affect the way things work. It's been proven scientifically with electronic equipment and everything. It's really quite cool. You just have to believe it and then do it. And it's not that hard. It really isn't. Yes, thoughts are energy. And energy is power. I mean, why else is do what? It's V. Thank you, Atrax. Yes, Fudd, they do call that prayer. Although I know an awful lot of people that for them the word prayer has negative connotations to it. Just because all of the things that have been done in the name of whatever God you wish to choose. Which is why I like the flying spaghetti monster. May he touch you with his noodly goodness. But, arg. Oh, wait, that's Friday. Never mind. V for Vinstery. Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, there you go, sweetie. So, you going to be my campaign manager, hon? Oh, and see, there he goes. He went and left just before I asked him if he's going to be my campaign manager. See how he is. In any case, yeah, I send prayers to people. I send healing thoughts to people. I mean, it's EEGs. They can detect that shit. And, they can map your brain with all of the energy that's flowing through it. People need to realize that. And wasn't it, Vinstery, there you go. Wasn't it Albert Einstein that said reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one? Why, thank you, Vinstery. That would be awesome. I think we all need to realize that reality is what we make it. So let's start focusing our lovely little gray cells that put out so much energy, or at least that is the physical part, the physical carrier. What's the postage on prayer? I don't know, Grim. I don't know. I hadn't really thought of it. Because I haven't licked a prayer stamp in a long time. Probably because they're self-licking now, so it's all good. And that's right, there are no intermediaries. Oh, yeah, air postage. There you go. It's air mail or air female. And that's right, Chalcedony. I mean, there really are no intermediaries between God and man, which is one of the things that I had a real serious problem with growing up as a Catholic. Is, we had to go to a priest. What the hell? Why do you have to go to a priest to talk to God when all you have to do is talk to God? And really all you have to do, you don't even have to say it out loud. Although for some people it's more comforting. And I do get why people go to church. I mean, it's the whole community thing. But one of the things that I did this weekend, scrolling through, it wasn't Netflix. I've also got Amazon Prime. And I was scrolling through some of the videos on Amazon Prime, and I ran across Stigmata. It's like, oh shit, I haven't seen that in forever. I absolutely love that movie. I mean, yeah, it's hokey, it's weird, it's odd, it's unusual. It's me. But I absolutely love that from the Gospel of Thomas. And I've read that gospel online, actually, and it's not near, I mean, the quote that you hear in the movie Stigmata is paraphrased. It's actually a combination of several of the verses from the Gospel of St. Thomas. But, and I don't like that whole saint thing either. Although, the Catholic in me, that it's still there. There's a little grain of it back there hiding. But how does that go? Churches are built, let's see. Churches are not built of wood and stone. Split a piece of wood and you will find me. Lift a stone and I'll be there, or something along those lines. I mean, it's a paraphrase in the movie, and it is, if you go and you read the Gnostic Gospels, it's in there online. You can read them, and they're kind of hard to follow, but read them a couple of times and you'll get the gist of it. And it really does sound like the way I imagine the teacher Christ spoke. I don't know. Maybe that's just the little child in me that's going, I really want to believe that that's the way he talked. Although I really do think there was a person named Jesus, not necessarily named Jesus. I think there was no Jesus in the Hebrew religion or Hebrew language or Aramaic or whatever. I think, what was it? I heard something somewhere about they said it was probably more like Emmanuel, which that does make a little bit more sense to me for some silly reason. Sounds better to me at least. And that way I don't have so many Hispanics running around in my head going, Jesus. No, it's Jesus. No, it's Emmanuel. What the hell? But, I think he was a wonderful teacher. And I think he was trying to let people know that you don't have to have an intermediary. You don't have to go to a church made of wood and stone. You don't have to pay tithings. You don't have to do any of that fun stuff. All you have to do is look within yourself and look around you, because that's where the kingdom of heaven is. The kingdom of heaven is all around you and inside you. And this lovely Garden of Eden that we're living in can be a Garden of Eden if we just stop trashing it. If we just stop making it hell on earth. All we have to do is shift our perspective, and it can be a heaven on earth. It's really not that, it's really that easy when you think about it. Shift your perspective. Shift your mindset. Instead of looking at every bad thing that happens to you as a punishment, look at it as something that you have to learn to either work around or go over. Instead of looking at every scar as every time you were hurt, look at it as something that tried to break you and you overcame it. It's just a shift in perspective. This thing that's going on in Oregon right now, yeah, it's a big boo-boo. That's a big ouchie. It's a big black eye, and the world is watching us. And we need to step it up to the next level. We cannot defeat them on the level that they're playing on. We have to take up and bring our best game, our A game, and we need to step it up and show them we don't need them. But it really is going to take a concerted effort, and it really is going to have to be as violence-free as possible. I don't know that we can get away with it without some kind of violent altercation somewhere along the way. I can't see us going without a violent. I'd love to see it, but I can't see us going without one. But let's please not be the ones instigating. Because when you have to stoop to violence, you've already lost. And that's kind of the way I look at it. If you have to stoop to violence, because there's always a way to get around. Now, you can't always convince someone else And that was, bless his heart. I listened to Freaker's Ball Friday night, and Solomon, I love you, darling. I truly do. But please, my dear, don't nominate me for sainthood. I am so freaking far from sainthood. You know, just because, and I'm not putting my name at the top of the list of the go ahead and take my ass out of the physical realm shit either. But you know, if someone is hell bent on taking me out, what am I going to do about it? Seriously, if they are hell bent on taking me out, I can only defend myself for so long. Maybe I can take that one, but if you've got an entity that's wanting to take your ass out, they're going to be hell bent on it. And yet, I'm not scared of them. I'm not. And I understand what they're doing. Doesn't mean I like it, but I understand it. Which is probably why I don't like it, because I do understand it. That don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because that's what they want. They feed off of that. They feed off of your fear. Stop feeding them. Stop feeding that beast, because it's not real. None of it is. And you know, everybody says, oh, they're all shills, but you need to stop and realize every damn one of those shills drops little breadcrumbs for us. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. That's a breadcrumb. Some say they're rubbing our noses in it. I say they're dropping breadcrumbs. They're leaving us a trail and letting us know there is a way out of this if we pay attention and if we think. And that's what we got to do. We got to pay attention and we got to think. Oh, well. Let's see. Now that I've done enough bitching and ranting and scolding and metaphysicaling on you, okay. Yes, the FBI did lose the war because actually, yeah, they did. They lost the war. Okay, Fudd, there is a difference between, I can't remember his name, but he explained the difference between defending yourself and violence. Violence isn't aggressive, whereas defending yourself is not. But stooping to violence, that means you go on the aggressive. You are the aggressor. But if you are defending yourself, then it's, I can't remember his exact wording to that, but it really made sense to me. It's like, holy shit, I'll have to find that video because I saved it on YouTube. It was like a 2.5 hour talk that he gave. They lost the battle of minds and hearts is what they lost, Atrax. And it's not going to show right off the bat, but it will show. They fired the first shot. And to my way of thinking, they lost because they stooped. They blinked. They used violence. Whether it was the FBI or the county sheriff's deputies or whoever it was. You're just an old fat man? Well, you know what? Old fat man can defend their own. I know you can, Fudd. Yeah. Well, you know what? Money isn't everything, darling. Money isn't everything, RLM 6139. And that's one of those lovely little things that they use, one of those strings that they jerk us around with, is the whole money and pension mindset. We don't need money. We really don't. There's a barter system. A lot of people I know barter things. You don't need money. Unfortunately, they've got the world convinced that you have to have it. And that's really sad. Yeshua. Thank you, Fudd. Although there are others that call him Emmanuel. So. And yeah, That whole thing over in Palestine is a whole nother. See, and that's where I haven't seen Dogma. I'll have to watch that one, Grammy. Thank you. I'm scrolling through. I'm scrolling through. What was Ah, very good, Fudd. See, that's why I keep my brother Fudd around. Okay, Dogma. Okay, I'll have to watch that. Um, what? I'm trying to catch up here. See, you guys, I get sidetracked and then. But yeah, that whole Palestine thing, and I've had people tell me there's no such thing as Palestine. Really? Well, they speak of Palestinians in the Bible. So if there's no such thing as Palestine, then where the fuck did the Palestinians come from? And they say that's the promised land to the Jewish people. Promised by who? Some guy that spoke out of a burning bush? Yeah, I know. I'm going to piss people off with that. But seriously, they were invaders. Just like we were invaders on this land. And I got into a discussion with someone over on Facebook about that. And they told me, because I'd said something, oh, what was it? He and I were arguing about Jerusalem and Israel and Palestine and the Gaza and all that fun stuff. And he said that, number one, spoils of war. And I went, oh, okay, tell that to the Native Americans. And so he jumped all over my ass about that. And then it was, well, this is the promised land. And that is their ancestral home. And so I went, oh, okay. Okay, you can call him Dude Grimmy. That's a hell of a lot easier to say. Oh, Abraham bought it. How much did he pay? Did he buy it from the Palestinians the same way that we bought from Manhattan from the Indians? I'm just curious. In any case, we were discussing this whole, and I know I've talked about this before, but we were talking about how he kept telling me that no, this is for the Jewish people, and this is their promised land, and this is their holy land. And I kept saying, well, it's the holy land for the Christian faith and the holy land for the Muslim faith as well. So why is it that it's just the Jewish people that get to have it? Inquiring minds want to know. And then he said something about, well, that's just their ancestral home. And I said, okay, well, so the Palestinians have to leave because that's their ancestral home. So if the Indians come knocking on your door, or the Native Americans come knocking on your door, and they say that they want their home back, are you going to just move out? Well, no, that's different. And besides, they aren't Native Americans because they came across a land bridge. And I went, oh, okay. And so that trip through the Red Sea that the Israelites did, they didn't migrate to the Promised Land either then, huh? That whole touristy thing that they did with Moses, who obviously couldn't read a map because it took him how many frickin' years of wandering around in the desert, and then Moses still didn't get to see the Promised Land? Yeah. So, it's just, oh, it's like the First Nations. Oh, okay. So every time he came up with an argument, I would throw it right back in his face about what's going on over here and what we did to the Native Americans or the First Nations or the whatever you wish to call them. Although there is actual evidence that there were Japanese that settled here as well. So, way before Leif Erikson came here. And well, no, there were already natives here, but really? That's right, Vince. The future is what's important. But in order to have a decent future. We don't need to keep that one foot in the past. We don't need to keep whining about what happened in the past, but we do need to learn what happened in the past and then move forward. And do not repeat the mistakes that we made in the past. Oh, 40 years, but not because he was lost, huh? That's right. What? Oh, Chalcedoni's talking about Levon. Okay. I was trying to figure out what in the heck. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about, Chalcedony. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was kind of, yeah, I listened to her interview and I had tears running down my face. That was just uh pass the cheese? Who's got cheese? I have cheese and crackers. I have smoked cheese. It's hard to roll in those papers, but I did it. Okay, damn it. Enough of this. Enough of this. I'm not going to go through this history thing because history, when you break the word down, is his story. So whoever wrote the damn book and convinced the most people to read that damn book and believe it, that's what it is. So let's move on, shall we? And I'm going to move on to one that I think Atrax shared this over on World Truth. Yes, Lino. Okay, Lino has given me a history on Palestine. Thank you, Lino. I still want to know who in the hell promised it to him. I know, Lino, and you know what? Sometimes I like to argue just for the sake of argument, just because what really frickin' pisses me off about that whole thing over there is that people are getting bullied and killed because someone's being a greedy asshat. That's what pisses me off. There are children dying on a daily basis everywhere on the globe. And nobody's doing a frickin' thing to stop it. Or, well, there's people doing things to stop it. But seriously, we need to get together and just frickin' stop it. That's what makes me crazy. All these children on a daily basis. And what the hell are people pissed about? Here, I'll show you. I'll show you what people are pissed about. This is what's got people's butts all puckered. Their knickers are in a massive knot. This is from page6.com. Fans are outraged because a white actor is playing Michael Jackson around the globe. Gives you kind of a warm and fuzzy feeling, don't it? Oh, thanks, Grim. Oh, hi, story? Okay. Hish. Whatever. You know, I make up words as I go along, just so you know. Oh. Well, okay. Yeah, it's Joseph Fiennes that's going to be playing Michael Jackson apparently in the movie. I'm like, who the hell is Joseph Fiennes? And Moosey, sweetheart, I do not identify as a peasant or a peon. I am me. Ought to be a law. Or actually, no. Number one is learn to respect not only yourself, which you have to respect yourself in order to learn to respect others, but learn to respect. Then, stop saying there ought to be a law. Then, stop expecting someone else to do the dirty work for you. I think we do those three right off the bat, and you can pretty much eliminate government. I really do. Ah, that's right, Vince. Vince Torrey. And that's where what I condense the 10 commandments down to. Thou shalt not steal. And that's the only rule I live by. Besides, I just love everybody. But yeah, thou shalt not steal. Don't steal someone's dignity. Don't steal someone's property. Don't steal someone's liberty. Don't steal someone's stuff. Don't steal someone's innocence. Don't steal someone's life. Thou shalt not steal. Period. It's the only law you need. You know what? If you don't steal someone's property, if you don't steal someone's security, if you don't steal someone's safety, if you don't steal someone's health, then you're not bringing any harm to them. Yep. Oh. We could go on and on and on. And I could. I could prattle on forever. But instead, I'm just going to move along. Because I'm like, I, I'm, I'm one of those balloons that, they just untied it and let go of it. I'm going all over the room. And I need to settle down on just one thing. Like that's going to happen. But still, what? Your chance of becoming a millionaire depends a lot on your age. Well, I'm thinking my chances of becoming a millionaire are not real good because it's not something I aspire to. I'm not going to become anything that I don't wish to aspire to other than dead. And that comes to all of us. So, there you go. Thanks, Marcos, for those lovely people of Walmart. I could have really done without that image. Yes, I could. Damn. If y'all want to know, go over to my wall over on World Truth, because I'm not going to share it because it's like, oh, woofty. Just the original picture. It's like, ew. Ew. Oh, well. Oh, crap. Stutterfingers. Okay, I am going to get to another one just to let you know, just how I am large and in charge. I have a special little shiny badge, or I have this, or I have that. I'm with the government and I'm here to help. It's for your own good. You should know better. Even if you don't, ignorance of the law is no excuse. You know all that bullshit stuff that they tell you? Well, this is from techdirt.com. Brought to you by a lawyer. 16-year-old shouldn't be upset by explicit photos cop sent her because she's probably seen penises on the internet. Oh, really? Was this your 16-year-old daughter? That a cop sent his dangly bits to her? Kind of makes it a little bit different. Kind of changes the perspective just a skosh when it's your child that this shit happens to. Apparently, this is from I See at Large, or at least one huge dick here department. Oh, well, yeah, but that huge dick is on two legs. They're not talking about the dangly bits hanging between, because usually people that do this shit is because, well, they're bragging about what they don't have. Apparently, Edwin Guzman is currently facing charges for annoying and accosting. Annoying and accosting. That's what they call that. Okay. Yeah, he's annoying and accosting a person of the opposite sex, as well as disseminating harmful material to a minor. Probably both of them are misdemeanors. I missed her, but I can get meaner. Yeah, that would be Officer Guzman to you. Honest, Ossifer. And not just any officer, but Sergeant Guzman, who was promoted around the same time he was sending naked pictures of himself to a 16-year-old girl. What a disgusting dick. It started off, we regularly chat, and it's mostly about school and how life is. The teenager, who is 16 at the time, told Five investigates. But she says the conversations kept escalating from there. If I gave him like pleasure and let him do things to me, he'd be willing to buy me things, she said. He took a picture of his penis and sent it to me. Ew! Please note that if a classmate had sent a picture or a photo of his penis to this 16-year-old girl, he might be facing child pornography charges, depending on the state, and a lifetime on the sex offender registry, rather than annoying and accosting, which would net Guzman a maximum $200 fine and 6 months in jail. Bend over, darling, because Bubba can't wait to see you. Yeah, that officer and a family friend would use both these positions to attempt to coerce a minor into sexual activity is disturbing enough. But what's more disturbing is his lawyer's dismissiveness of the teen's response to the unwanted explicit pictures. Afterward, his lawyer, Kenneth Anderson, said there are discussions with prosecutors to resolve this case. I really can't get into detail given the nature of things. They're serious charges. Really? Not nearly as serious as impeding a possible investigation by federal officers, yada, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit! But apparently he disputed the charges that Guzman sent a 16-year-old girl harmful pictures and said that even if the allegations were true, la-dee-da, he doesn't believe the material would have been that shocking. Seriously? I think if someone would have sent pictures to me of dangly bits, I'd have gone, whoa, dude, damn, holy shit. And then I would have shamed the son of a bitch mercilessly. But that hasn't happened to me yet, so there you go. It's probably why it hasn't happened to me, because people know I would shame them mercilessly. It goes on to say, you can't tell me someone her age has never seen a picture of a penis on the internet. Well, that's fucking immaterial, isn't it, Anderson? If she has seen them, from whatever she was doing, if, for 2 letters, that's an awfully big word, you little son of a bitch. In any case, if she had seen them, they were not sent to her by a law enforcement officer who should fucking know better and should be charged with something more than annoying and accosting. Really? I'm thinking sexual predator here. If it works for a 17-year-old boy that slept with a 16-year-old girl, you can call him a sexual predator. Then by a random neighbor or anyone else that shouldn't be sending dick pics to a minor sent her explicit photos. After all, spend enough time on the internet and you're bound to see a penis. Okay, I see walking, talking dicks all the time. Not just on the internet. I actually work with one. Oi. Oh, well. Perhaps Anderson could get her over her fear of penis pictures by sending a few of his own her way. Ew! Ew, ew. Okay, I get the rationale here, but ew. This argument never should have been stated out loud. Yeah, this is a liar for you. Hopefully he won't be raising this in court. Pun intended. There is a huge, another pun, difference between being sent an unwanted explicit photo and just coming across one while surfing the web. Yeah, there is a big difference. Or maybe a tiny. It's just a little one. It's just a little thing. What are you going to do with that? Add to this the fact that the person sending them was not only a family friend, but was also in a position of power, and the disparity between random internet dick pic and what actually happened here becomes even greater. Even if the unnamed minor went searching for penis photos on the web, it would have been a consensual act, But there's nothing consensual about being sent explicit photos by a person in a position of power and trust, or should be trustworthy. Should be. One obviously willing to abuse both. And arguing that just because someone has seen a penis before doesn't mean they have no right to be upset about being sent unwanted photos is the lowest, in all senses of the word, form of rhetoric, which, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I love to think that this gentleman will be spending 6 months. I use that term loosely, by the way. I love to think that that individual will be spending some quality time with Bubba. Better have some soap on a rope. That's all I got to say. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm just catching up on the reading here. Read the above what? Okay. Okay. You know, if somebody, what? 14 seconds? Okay. Yeah. I don't know, Grim. I don't know. Yeah. Ooh, baby, I want me some of that right there. Yeah. It's a little Vienna sausage. Honey, don't forget to get Vienna sausages when you go grocery store, okay? Oh, I just got reminded by a picture I got sent on the internet. It's no big deal. Literally. Yeah. You know, just... Okay, Moosey. Well, maybe. I mean, I have brothers. And I have younger brothers, and I change diapers, and I have grandsons, and I've changed their diapers. So, yeah, I know what one looks like. But still, to have someone send one to me like that, I would be like, whoa. Oh, Vince. Well. Please don't. Load pick, huh? It's a loaded weapon, I tell you. Oh, that's just too funny. But it is sick and wrong when an individual does that too. I mean, 16 years old is still legally classified as a child in most states. So, I think he should be classified as a sexual predator. I mean, if you're going to use the law against everybody else and use it against yourself too, if you cannot apply it equally, then do not apply it at all. It's that simple. Stupid sons of bitches. That's what... Breathe, Grammy, breathe. Okay, I think I'm going to go over... Let me look in my pocket. Whee! Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Yeah, horizontal history. You know, we were talking about history earlier, and this is really... I started reading this. It was one of those things that I got an email that said, things you might want to put in your pocket, which is like, oh, wow. Now I'm starting to get emails of things I might want to put in my pocket. Well, this could get interesting. This is on... waitbutwhy.com. And I kind of sort of skimmed a little bit at this. Is by Tim Urban, and it was posted this month, January 2016. Horizontal history. You know, most of us have a pretty terrible understanding of history. I think I give evidence of that on a daily basis. Our knowledge is spotty. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. With large gaps all over the place. Okay, now we're talking about people at Walmart. And the parts of history we do end up knowing a lot about usually depend on the particular teachers, parents, books, articles, and movies we happen to come across in our lives. Because how do we know history? It's all hearsay. Every bit of it. Unless we lived it, it's hearsay. Nuances of a historical time period of your choosing. Yeah, right. I'm not raising my hand. Good thing this is not video. Well, if it was video, you could see I'm not raising my hand. The reason history is so hard is that it's so soft. Oh, see, it's like that penis thing. To truly, fully understand a time period, an event, a movement, or an important historical figure, you'd have to be there, and many times over. You'd have to be in the homes of the public living at the time to hear what they're saying. You'd have to be a fly on the wall in a dozens of secret closed-door meetings and conversations. You need to be inside the mind of the key players to know their innermost thoughts and motivations. Even then, you'd be lacking context. To really have the complete truth, you'd need background, the cultural nuances, and the national psyches of the time. The way each of the key players was raised during childhood and the subtle social dynamics between those players. The impact of what was going on in other parts of the world. And an equally thorough understanding of the many past centuries that all of these things grew out of. Yeah, really daunting when you put it like that, isn't it? That's why not only can't even the most perfect history buff fully understand history, but the key people involved at the time can't ever know the full story. History is a giant collective tangle of thousands of interwoven stories involving millions of characters, countless chapters, and many, many narrators. And you know humans, they like to tell fish stories. Yeah, that's not how they like things. The human brain really, really likes to simplify things. History proves the context of our world and our life, or provides the context of our world and our lives, because each of us is a character in this grand story. And the last thing we want to believe is that the story is just too complicated and mysterious for us to understand. Fairy tales are satisfying because they always have a happy ending. And because the plot is crystal clear. There's good guys and there's bad guys. And there's only one side of the story. Children identify with the good guys, the us guys. And they detest the bad guys, the them guys. And everyone's happy. Stories written for adults aren't that different. You loved Shawshank and Braveheart and Star Wars, right? So, when it comes to the story we're all a part of, we most certainly want to feel the same way. We want history to be simple and clear, with good guys and bad guys. We'd like to make sure that our ancestors, our ethnic group, our nation, and all the other tribes we belong to are Aladdin in the story, not Jafar. The problem with all of this is that not everyone can be Aladdin. Someone has to be Jafar. Right? Well, no. Not if there are many different storytellers, since no one is ever telling anything close to the full, real, complete story in all its complexity. As we said, no one even knows the full story. Each historian, each ruler, and each society creates their own fairy tale version of what went down in the past. When things are unsatisfyingly multifaceted, we pick the facet we like the best. When there are knowledge gaps, we make things up. When there are questions of motive, we pick ones that fit nicely into the narrative. This leaves us with plenty of tools to leave every story with a proper Aladdin and a proper Jafar, and allow us to make sure that Aladdin is exactly who we want him to be. The us, US, is a good example. A huge number of people in today's world have been told a story liberals thinking conservatives over Aladdinize the US, and conservatives thinking liberals over Jafarify the US, while Aladdinizing the other side. This is the same phenomenon behind the stark opinion divide around Israel and Palestine. Hordes of people on both sides of what is insanely complicated story are red in the face with ire at the other side, completely positive that their side is Aladdin, and incensed that anyone could ever call the other side Aladdin and their side Jafar. Only with the stark clarity of a fairy tale could people ever feel so unshakingly sure. Of course, it's not that there are no good guys or bad guys in history. History is a pretty ugly story. What else would you expect from a species of primitive biological animals? And accountability for that ugliness isn't spread out evenly amongst all people. To an extent, the definition of words like good and bad, right and wrong, hero and villain lie in the eye of the beholder or beer holder, depending on what kind of story it is. But there's also plenty of human behavior that qualifies as objectively good or bad. So it's not that there are never objective Aladdins and there are never objective Jafars. It's that almost none of us has any idea what the fuck we're talking about. Point to a historical event and tell me that there was a true Aladdin and Jafar going on, and I'll acknowledge that that might be true. Tell me that you know who is who, and in most cases, I'll shake my head. Which brings me to me. Blogging about history, nuanced and balanced way, and you'll get yelled at by people who believe that both of the one-sided views. Nothing brings people's tribal fires to the table like history. I've learned this from experience. This doesn't make me any less excited to write about history, but it makes me want to research the shit out of the part of history before I write about it. Only by reading a bunch of varying accounts and opinions can you start to form a clear picture of what we know and don't know. Indisputably black and white. Who happened when? Because before we can responsibly start arguing with each other about Aladdins and Jafars, we need to get the basic timeline and characters of the story clear. But I'm not going to lay things out a little differently than you're probably used to. Normally, we learn about history, storylines in isolation. We might have a strong sense of history, of physics, breakthroughs, or progression of Western philosophy, thought, or the succession of French rulers. But we're not as clear on how each of these storylines relate to each other. If you think of history like a tangle of vines growing upwards through time, studying one type of history at a time is like following a path of one particular vine while ignoring the other vines all around it. It's understanding history in a vertical sense. Let me see how long this is. Oh my goodness. So, while vertical history has its merits, it doesn't leave you with an especially complete picture of any one time. An econ buff in the year 2500 might know all about the Great Depression that happened in the early 20th century and a major recession that happened about 80 years later. Recession, my ass. But that same person might mistake the two world wars for happening in the 1800s or the 2200s if they're a little hazy on the history of wars. So while an econ buff, that person would have a pretty poor understanding of what our modern times are all about. Likewise, I might know that Copernicus began writing his seminal work on the revolutions of the celestial spheres in Poland in the early 1510s, but by learning that right around that same time to see the 1500s horizontally, like cutting out a complete segment of the vine tangle and examining it all together. A blog post is limited in its ability to examine all of history horizontally. But I've taken two separate cracks, and below there are two cracks, and I will let you guys investigate those cracks. And I think that I can work them together nicely to help us take a horizontal view of different times. Both involve a lot of names, which leads me to the inevitable disclaimer about who I chose to include. Used were by publications targeting English-speaking people, and that I inevitably leaned more towards people I had heard of. The group of names will skew America and Eurocentric, with places like Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, probably underrepresented. This isn't entirely by accident, though. This post is only you sampling, not an exhaustive list. So, he has a couple of different historical things here, and wowzer, he's got a big ol' honkin' list. I will let you check into this. I thought this was really pretty interesting, and I'll finish reading it on my own time. No, shit, wait, no, hey, send me new posts. No, I don't want your emails. I put you in my pocket. I'll remember you. But you know, it really is kind of fascinating when you look at it like that, you know, there are so many different things that go into making history. And yet what we are taught in school is just little bitty slices. Little bitty, not even a serving. You know, not even an expensive restaurant serving of brain food, history. It really is kind of fascinating when you look at it like that. Interesting little ditty there. And you know, every day we make history in one way or another. Because if people tell stories, if people continue telling stories, of course, that's how history morphs, is in the storytelling process. But every day we create history. And another little bit of history dies off. It's kind of cool, I think. Oh, well. Let's see. Now, I did want to get to a couple of things over on UPI really quick. You know how the police are just being so... And we think the police are bad here in the U.S., and it's not just in the U.S. They're shithole police officers everywhere. I think it's part of the job description anymore. And seriously, I have spoken with people that are no longer officers of the law that will tell you that, yeah, they don't want critical thinking people in there. They want tough guys with a chip. So, here's a little funny one from UPI.com, although not really funny, but funny. Police kick in opera singer's door after confusing singing with screaming. Now, this was in Amsterdam, Netherlands. This was not at my house. I gotta put that out there because probably Larry is gonna say, Grammy, were you singing again? No, this was I've never been to Amsterdam. So this wasn't me. Apparently, Police in Amsterdam mistakenly kicked in the door of a local opera singer after residents called in reports of a man screaming. There's a photo of the door attached here as well. But apparently they were receiving reports of terrifying screams coming from the home of Zudi in that district. The Netherlands Times reported that police confirmed that they believed to be screams of agony when they arrived and began to knock on the door of the opera singer's home. The singer did not hear the knocks because he was practicing. Yeah, that's what they call it. And was unaware anyone was at the door until it was kicked in. Police found him singing along to a song while wearing headphones. Oh, wow. This really just lets me know, don't do that, Grammy. In the end, the police, the colleagues, the tipsters, and the residents had a real laugh about the incident. But who's going to fix the door? That's what I want to know. Who's Wow, damn, overachievers here. They really did kick in the door, too. Although I would have tried to kick a little bit higher if it was me, but, you know. What the hey? Thank you, sweetheart. Stop. My kitty cat is being she's got her claws out. Night, night, Moosey. I hope you feel better, sweetheart. I could do that, Juana, but no. I could just see him coming to the door now. Ma'am, you're under arrest for assaulting everybody's ears. So no, I'm not going to go there. Although I do find this extremely amusing. Because I'm just kind of sick and wrong like that. Okay, dang, my Twitter. Oh, and you know what? Okay, this is a ta-ta. Okay, that's as close as I'm going to come to any kind of opera shit. I now have 305 followers on Twitter. I'm like, booyah! I broke the 300 threshold by 5. Yes, Lino? Good night, darling. I love you too, sweetheart. You have a wonderful night's sleep. Pleasant dreams. Be safe, darling. Lino's going nighty-night too. Okay, I have one more over here on Oopie that I want to get to. Okay, there was one more. Where'd that go? Oh, I know. Here it was. There it was. Whoa, stop it. Which I want this job. I really do, but I don't want to move to Florida. Because apparently the Legoland is looking to hire 20 builders for their new Florida facility. Can you imagine the job of playing with Legos all day? That would be sweet. Apparently, Lego is searching for experienced builders to build models for a new Legoland facility in Florida. The facility, known as Merlin Magic Making Hub, has 50 builders on staff and is seeking about 20 more to assist in building models for various Legoland theme parks. In the brand new production facility to make Lego models for Merlin attractions all around the world, model shop supervisor Ryan Wood told, it's a brand new production facility. Okay, never mind. The kind of models we're making here are typically for mini land attractions within the Legoland and Legoland Discovery Center parks. According to Quartz, who is Quartz? According to Quartz, the only qualifications are a high school diploma and pre-placement physical. However, the hiring process is competitive and requires multiple interviews and exhibitions of building skills. They want you to be an exhibitionist with your blocks. The official job description outlines a few other requirements, such as previous experience in Lego model building, architectural and or sculptural, basic computer knowledge, a good knowledge of Lego parts, good communication skills, ability to give and receive constructive criticism, I wonder if that is a pun, ability to work in a team, and a positive attitude, strong focus, concentration, good craftsmanship. Okay, the strong focus and good concentration, I just lost out. Good craftsmanship, I can do that. Patience, no. If the good Lord intended for me to have patience, he'd have made me a doctor. And a sense of humor are a must. I have the sense of humor, although sometimes it's rather rank, but I do have one. Artistic education background or experience helpful, but not required. Because, after all, you're playing with Legos all day. Wood also explained that most builders on staff began building Legos as a kid. Duh! Making the job at the newly opened factory a dream come true. Yeah, like I said, I would love to, but yeah, I can communicate. It's that whole focus shit I have issues with. This is definitely very much a dream job, model builder Max Petrosky said. When you're a kid, you play with Legos, you know? And to actually make a living, actually working with Lego is just incredible. And that's kind of what I think. It's like, damn! So who lives in Florida and wants a dream come true job of a lifetime? Uh-oh. Vince, are you heading down? Night-night, sweetie. Oh, yes, that is yummy, sweetie. And wild orange will actually give you energy boosts. Yeah, stuff's amazing. You mix a little wild orange with eucalyptus, which I don't think I sent you any eucalyptus. But if you mix those two in the palms of your hands and then inhale, wow, clears the sinuses and gives you energy. It's wonderful. And yes, Chalcedonia, I am praying that as well, sweetheart. Oh, night all in 9 minutes. Oh, okay. Bye, free and slave. I saw you just leave too. Did I share my Legoland? Yes, I did. Okay. I need to put Legoland over here on World Truth as well. Because, yeah, everybody likes Legoland. Everybody likes Legos. Except at 2 in the morning when you have to go to the bathroom. Then Legos become instant cuss makers. I can put a sailor to shame in the middle of the night if I step on a Lego. Yeah. Whee! But, you know. Okay, just a sec here. Gotta watch my damn typo shut. Okay. I'm gonna check out Farcaroni too. Okay, and I got one more from Florida because I have a little bit more time here. This is from over on FARC. The FARC headline is, Study finds driving while black really is a crime. Who'da thunk? This is from Vox.com. I mean, may as well really get into it, right? And apparently that's also the headline on Vox.com. Let's find out if it lives up to its pomp and circumstance. Study finds that driving while black really is a crime in Florida. Apparently white and black Floridians, that doesn't work right when it's Floridians, does it? It just sounds like I belched. White and black Floridians wear their seatbelts at roughly the same rates. One would think then that black drivers are about as likely to get ticketed by police officers for not wearing a seatbelt as white drivers. Nope! According to a new report by the American Civil Liberties Union, police in Florida were nearly twice as likely in 2014 to stop and ticket black drivers for seatbelt violations, and that may be an underestimate, since at least one county with a history of racial disparities in seatbelt citations stopped reporting its stats altogether. Why? Because they didn't want to be called bigots and racists, probably. Apparently, what? Okay. Comparative racial disparity in seatbelt user rates in Florida law, yada, 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 yada. Florida seatbelt user rates disparity between blacks and whites in 2014. Whites, 91.5%, blacks, 85.8%. Okay. But apparently the ticketing is 1.9% higher. Wow. That's like a drastic amount. Apparently the ACLU pointed to a 2014 study from the Florida Department of Transportation that found 85.8% of black drivers were observed to be wearing their seatbelts, compared to 91.5% of white drivers. So, white drivers are observed to be wearing them more often than blacks. Your study. Another way to look at the statistics is that 14.2% of black drivers in Florida don't wear their seatbelts, while 8.5% of white drivers don't. So black drivers are roughly 67% more likely to not wear their seatbelts. But, according to the ACLU analysis, roughly 88% more likely to get ticketed for it. Still, a significant disparity. Depends on how you crunch those numbers, doesn't it? In 2014, black people made up only 13.5% of the estimated Florida resident driver population, but made up 21.96% of the recipients of all seatbelt citations reported to state authorities, the ACLU found. And if black people had been stopped and ticketed for seatbelt violations in proportion to their estimated representation among Florida drivers, they would have received 20,296 fewer seatbelt citations in 2014. It's a frickin' seatbelt. Those things can be death too, you know. These are the kinds of disparities that have led many people in minority communities to mockingly call driving while black a crime. Which, yeah, I could see that. Because, well, black drivers matter. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? After all, if black people aren't violating the law more, what other reason could there be? Well, you already showed that the black people are violating the stupid-ass law more. Although I think it's a stupid-ass law. If you don't want to buckle your seatbelt, that should be on you. And part of the reason why that is now a law is lawyers and insurance agents. Just putting it out there. Oh, well. The ACLU analysis is also illuminating because it shows the prominence of racial bias in the justice system. Okay, I will agree to that. Racial disparities in police use of force and the criminal justice system are often brushed off by skeptics because crime rates are generally higher in minority communities. But these statistics show that even when the rates of offenses are the same, black people are still disproportionately punished. I could see that. And it does suck. But I don't know how to fix it. I really don't. Oh my goodness. A smart toaster? Who the hell's got a smart toaster? I'm glad you love that inhaler, darling. That is absolutely amazing. Yes, it is. But if you want refills on any of that shit, you're going to have to come get them. I'm just telling you that right now. If you want refills. Okay. Crazy drivers. Crazy drivers. Well, I am just about out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and just do my thing and head for the hills or the high country or whatever. I'm going to head somewhere. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm going to do that. In any case, please keep those people in Oregon in your prayers. And also keep everyone in the world, in your prayers and your thoughts and your positive energy hopes and your whatever you want to send out there into the universe, into the cosmos, into the energy stream. There's a lot of people in this world that are being abused and being killed by a fiction we call government. And they need to have our support, even if it's, even if it's just a big supportive wave coming at them through the energy stream. We need to show them support, people. We need to start staying together, even if it's just energetically, because if you start energetically, the physical will follow. It's just because matter is only held together by energy. So start with the energy and keep working it and keep doing it. Y'all have been listening to Grammy Mary here on World Truth Radio and RealLibertyMedia.com Channel 3 and the WorldTruth.org Spreaker channel. I will be back on Freaker Friday to kick off the Freaker. Well, no, I'm not kicking off the Freaker Friday festivities unless you consider I'm kicking off the evening festivities. Because Vince and Flash and Vince, however you want to say that, will be on, I hope, Friday at noon Central Time with their No Time for Rational Thinking, which I rarely have time for rational thinking. And I will be on that Friday evening. Hopefully I'll be followed by Atrax and then Grimmy and Moosker with the Freakers Ball. But until then,